I'm very sorry not to be in Asheville with you today. I wish I was. I'm leaving today on a trip that'll take me over the next 8 days to Oslo, to Cape Town, to Tel Aviv, to Mexico City, to Portland, to Denver, spewing carbon behind me all the way. It's been that kind of year. I've covered every continent on the planet in the last few months, all to spread this one arcane number, 350, around the world. I want to talk to you for a minute today about why it's the most important number on the planet and how it is that it's going to help us take the action we need to take about climate change in the short time that we have to take it. It's a new number. 18 months ago, no one knew it. In the summer of 2007, the Arctic melted spectacularly, melted long ahead of schedule, 30, 40 years before the computer models said it would. It caused our scientists to look around the world, not just at Arctic melt, but at a bunch of other phenomena that were taking place at the same exaggerated speed. Every high-altitude glacier in the world melting. The world's hydrological cycles begun to go completely out of kilter, so that we see epic flood in dry places and in wet places, and epic drought in arid places where evaporation is on the increase. What scientists realized was that global warming was happening on a larger scale at a more rapid pace. Even though human beings have only increased the temperature of the planet about 1 degree centigrade, that's been enough to cause large problems to emerge already and to lock us into even more damage in the years ahead. By January of 2008, our leading scientists had a number to go with that peril. Jim Hansen at NASA and his team produced a series of papers saying that the magic number really for the world was 350 parts per million. Any value for carbon in the atmosphere above that number, they said, was not compatible with the planet on which civilization developed or to which life on Earth is adapted. That's strong language. It's especially strong language when you know we're already past it. We're at 390 parts per million and rising 2 parts per million per year. That's why the Arctic's melting. That's why Australia's on fire. That's why so many of our glaciers are melting. On and on and on. Global warming is not a future threat. It is a present crisis. And 350 is the number that explains that. What it means in political terms is that we have to take action much more quickly and much more dramatically than we had hoped even a few years ago. Our last real chance to start taking that action may come this December in Copenhagen, when the world's nations meet in order to draw up a new climate treaty. A few years ago, we thought that that would be an evolutionary process. They'd take the Kyoto Accords and make them a little stronger and include a few more countries. We know now that that won't be good enough, that we need a real and dramatic change in course. We need not to start putting on the brakes, but to toss this thing in reverse and go the other way as fast as we can. Which is why we're building this 350.org movement, and why, happily, it's building so fast and so beautifully around the world. We've taken this number and used it as a way to spread an education about global warming everywhere, and then to make that education mean something. On October 24th, around the world, people will be coming together in a series of actions and demonstrations and rallies to demand that their leaders pay attention to the science, put the science at the center of their deliberations. Some of these will be big. In our big cities, we'll have people by the tens of thousands forming numbers. In Sydney, a giant 3. In London, a giant 5. In Copenhagen, a giant 0. We'll make the BBC and the CNN sort of play planetary Scrabble that night, put those pictures together to make the case that only by collaboration across borders can we get this job done. Some of these events will be beautiful and dramatic. People up on the highest peaks in the world. The president of the Maldives is going to lead the world's largest underwater demonstration. 350 scuba divers underwater in that endangered island paradise. On and on around the world. This is gaining real traction. 2 men have won the Nobel Prize for global warming. One, Al Gore, the other, Rajendra Pachauri, the Indian scientist who accepted the prize on behalf of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Both have now endorsed this 350 number. Dr. Pachauri last week in a really dramatic statement that helps upend the politics of this question. But what we need now is the viral spread of this meme out across the net. We could not even have contemplated this kind of global campaign a few years ago. The fact that we now have more than 100 of the world's nations involved, and by October 24th, many, many more, is proof of the fact that the internet can be used in real political ways that allow us to take the most important number in the world and make it the most well-known number in the world in short order. Please go to 350.org and give us your help in doing that. We're very grateful. Thank you.